Brian, so far, any clashes?
Hi, Leland. Yeah, there have been some clashes. Police around the country have fear that there would be because of the dueling protest action that's happening in 28 cities in 19 states. On one side, you have the anti-Sharia law people. These are people that believe that Sharia law and Islamic law is a threat to the Constitution. On the other side, you have those who believe that this movement is anti-Muslim. They are anti-Trump, anti-fascist, and they believe that this is all a racist thing. So you have two different sides. The police did everything they could to split them up across the street. They've been crossing the street, and now you've got a mix of both protests. So there have been some pushing, there's been some shoving, and you have extreme elements essentially of both sides. It really is pretty apropos and an example of the politics of our country right now. You see the NYPD doing a good job of making sure that one protest stays there while the other anti-Sharia law protest stays here. And the big crux of where the disconnect is that one side believes that the anti-Sharia law side means that they're all anti-Muslim. And here they believe, we spoke to protesters who came out here in support of Trump, who are conservatives, who say this is not about being anti-Muslim. Take a listen.
This is a pro-American, that we need to do this for ourselves, for each other. We really do. We have to look out for each other.
I'm for Islam. I don't you know, discriminate against anything or the religions or race or anything. It's like, it's just the extremism part of it that sort of like makes everything so bad. Like,
so these grassroots marches that are happening today, the marches against Sharia law, organized by Act for America. It's a large national security organization is how they characterize themselves. But the other side of this, the anti-fascists and those that are against this movement, say that the Act for America group is actually anti-Islamic, and they believe that it is a veil, essentially, for people to just be racist and against Muslims. Take a listen to one of the supporters of the other side that we spoke to today.
They're not for our rights. They're not for our freedom. They're for the freedom of just a very small percentage of this country.
So again, Leland, we'll be watching the protests throughout the entire day here. 28 cities and 19 states, dueling clashes expected throughout the day. Considering what we saw in Portland, Oregon on Sunday, all eyes are on these protests. NYPD doing a good job of keeping everybody in check so far. Leland?
Yeah, Brian, before you go, give us a sense of what these folks are looking for. One of the people you interviewed had on what looked to be a combat helmet. Are folks coming out looking to pick a fight, or is it simply when the crowds come together, there's some pushing and shoving and name-calling?
The Act for America group, the anti-Sharia law group, a lot of those guys that we interviewed with the helmets, they said that they came prepared for a fight given what they saw in Portland, Oregon with the Antifa movement. That's the radical left side. They believe that given what they saw there, that they're having a sort of pro-Trump or a right conservative agenda or message in the middle of New York City could incite violence from the left. And of course the left is bringing people here essentially saying that we need to defend against racists on the other side. So both sides have come armed and ready just in case. Yeah. Leland?
We have seen that before with not great results. Brian Yennis on the ground in New York. Back to you, our reporters around the country as news warrants. Thanks, Brian.
In 2013, a man who was a
Act for America. Facts don't work for you. 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 Act for
Explanation, please.
Come over here.
I support everybody, but I would like to know what your side is about.
Give me your favorite stuff over here, please.
On Friday, 3 men, Rick Best, Talisha Namke Mesh, and Micah Fletcher stood up against bigotry and hatred. 2 paid with their lives, and a 3rd is seriously injured. Our community remains in shock and mourning, but we're also tremendously grateful to our heroes and their families for their selflessness and their heroism. They'll serve us for many generations to come to inspire us to be loving and courageous people, and that's who we're meant to be. As mayor, I wanted to take an opportunity to update you on a couple of developments. First, I have reached out to all of the victims and their families, including the 2 women who were terrorized and subjected to such hatred and bigotry on Friday. I've offered my unconditional assistance and support day or night. I've confirmed that the City of Portland has not and will not issue any permits for the alt-right events scheduled on June 4th or June 10th. The federal government controls permitting for Shrunk Plaza, and it's my understanding that they have issued a permit for June 4th. I'm calling on the federal government to immediately revoke any permit or permits that they've issued for the June 4th event, and I'm asking them not to issue a permit for the June 10th event. Our city is in mourning. Our community's anger is very real, and the timing and subject of these events can only exacerbate what is already a very difficult situation. I'm appealing to the organizers of the alt-right events to cancel the events that they've scheduled on both June 4th and June 10th. I urge them to ask their supporters to stay away from Portland at this difficult time. There is never a place for bigotry or hatred in our community, and especially not right now. I'm calling on every elected leader in the state of Oregon, every legal agency, and every law enforcement agency to stand with me in preventing another tragedy. When and if the time is right for them, I'd also like to work with the families to find an appropriate way to permanently remember their sacrifice and their honor and their courage. Their heroism is now part of the legacy and the history of this great city. And I want future generations to remember what happened here and why, so that it might serve to both eradicate hatred and inspire future generations to stand up for the right values like Rick, Talisha, and Michael did last week. It's okay to be in shock. It's okay to feel a lot of emotion right now and a lot of sadness. And for some people, there's a lot of anger. And that's going to continue to come to the forefront in the days ahead. And that's why I'm asking the federal government and the organizers of next weekend's rallies to work with me to cancel those events and make sure that they don't happen. The anger that people are feeling in this community right now is very, very real. And I share that sadness and I share that anger. And so I guess what I tell the people of this community, what I'm hanging on to right now is the fact that there were 3 men in this community who were willing to lay it all on the line. They were willing to give their lives to stand up for people they didn't know, young women who were maybe different from them, and they were willing to give it all. And 2 of them did. They gave their lives, and a 3rd lies seriously injured in a hospital. That's inspiring to me. And that's what's really bringing me through the sadness. And that was my message to the national and the international press earlier today. I want people in this country, and I want people around the world to know that there are people like Rick and Talisha and Micah here in the city of Portland, Oregon. And I hope this inspires some changes to the political dialogue in this country. I hope people put aside the hate and the bigotry. And I hope we rise to the memory of these 2 gentlemen who lost their lives. Let's do them honor by standing with them and carrying on their legacy of standing up against hate and bigotry and violence. And it's got to start now.
On Saturday, June 10, 2017, Act for America is having march against Sharia events in cities across the nation. This is a march against Sharia law and for human rights. Our nation is built on the freedom of religion, a pillar of our democracy which we must always respect, protect, and honor. However, many aspects of Sharia law run contrary to basic human rights and are completely incompatible with our laws and our democratic values. We, at Act for America, are committed to protecting women and children from Sharia law and its impact on Muslim women and children, including honor killing and female genital mutilation. We must ensure that every woman and child enjoy the protection afforded by the U.S. Constitution. Below is information about why Sharia is incompatible with Western democracy and the freedoms it affords, as well as the addresses for each march location, including a link to the Facebook event. Please share this information with your family, friends, and mark your calendars for Saturday, June 10th. # March Against Sharia. Thank you for taking action. Together, we are making a difference.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago. And so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me, and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, you know, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.